Good morning, class 10. Welcome back to the online session of SST, and in this session we are going to continue with our chapter, that is agriculture. Okay. In the last class we were discussing about food security, and I have already told you why food security is very important for our country. Okay. Now we were also discussing about the government has played an important role in food security, and they have provided certain facilities to the farmer. Okay, because of which the problem has been arising in the agricultural process. Okay, now let us understand what is the problem, how it has arisen. Okay, so before we understand the problems that has arisen in agriculture, we will understand the reason behind that. Okay, so let us start with MSP and some other factor that is responsible for that reason. Okay, now this is one of the facilities which the farmer has get from the government, and this is also one of the reasons that has led the farmer to do such activities which has created the problems in the agricultural production. Okay, so let us understand one of the facilities which the farmer get from the government and which has played an important role in the degradation of land. Okay, agricultural land. Okay, now let us understand. Suppose there is a farmer who has got acres of land and he produces in tons. Okay, but we will just discuss about 100 kg to make it easy. Okay, suppose there is a farmer who is producing 100 kg of rice at a cost of rupees 1000. Okay, so the production cost is 1000 rupees, and the government has fixed the MSP 1730. Okay, and the government price is 1800 rupees. Now this procurement price is fixed by the FCI, that is Food Corporation of India. Okay, and the market price is 1825. Now here the farmer will obviously sell in the market price. Why? Because he is getting more profit. Okay, but the government has already fixed the price 1730. Now when does the farmer like to sell with MSP? Well, what is the deal between the farmer and the government? Okay, first of all, the government is giving the facilities, okay, so that they can sell in the MSP. Now I will tell you why they are selling in MSP and why not in market price every time. Okay, the reason is that sometimes when the production is high, that time the price will be dropped. Okay, and the market price will become 1600 rupees. So this is just an example. Okay, suppose the market price is reduced and it has become 1600 rupees per 100 kg. Okay, so the farmer will be profit to sell in the MSP. Okay, the farmer will get profit if they sell in the MSP, or if the FCI is providing profit price of rupees 1750 or 1800, then obviously he will be selling to FCI or MSP, whichever location is near to their field. Okay, so obviously they will go for MSP. Now these days what is happening in the market is that due to corruption, the market price is dropping day by day, and MSP is fixed by the government. Okay, so they are bound to sell in MSP only and not at a market price. There are certain time only when the production is less, at that time the market price will rise. Okay, and they are selling in the market price to get more profit. Okay, but it's also important to understand when they are selling in market and when not. Okay, now let us understand this with the help of examples. Okay, suppose there is a field, okay, which is located far away from the marketplace, and another field is there which is located nearby the marketplace. Okay, this farmer, the one who is living in this field, okay, this farmer has produced 100 kg of rice at a cost of rupees 1000. Okay, and total cost of production is 1800 rupees for this farmer. Okay, and if he sells in the market, okay, then he will get only 1825. Okay, that means the profit is just 25 rupees for this farmer. Okay, and another place, if you see the field is here and it is nearby the marketplace, and the total cost of production for this farmer is 1300 rupees. So if he sells in this market also, for him this is a profitable business. Okay, so now when they have got this kind of situation, they will compare with the MSP. Now whichever business is suitable for them, suppose if for this farmer, if he sells in 1730 excluding the transportation, then for him to sell in the MSP is profitable. Okay, and for him also, if he sells with the MSP, it will be loss for him, whereas if he sells in market price, it will be profit for him. You see, okay, when the market price is 1825, when the production is less. Okay, now sometimes what happens, the production in the field will be very high, they will grow more crops, so the production will be more. At that time the market price will drop. Okay, from 1825, suppose it has become rupees 1600 per 100 kg. At this time this field will not sell in market price, this will sell in the MSP only, because the transportation cost is more, that is 1800 rupees, and if he sells in the market he will be in loss. Okay, not even a good profit he will be able to earn. Okay, so he will be in loss. So instead of selling in market price, he will approach MSP or FCI, whichever is nearby and whichever is profitable. He will compare and he will sell there. Okay, and not in the market. For him to approach a market will be a profitable business of rupees 300. Okay, and if he approaches MSP or FCI, that time also he will be having more profit. Okay, so in this way the MSP and FC has control over the farmer. Okay, so you can understand this. Not every farmer will sell to MSP or FCI. Why? Because sometimes the market is located nearby and the transportation cost is very less. Okay, and they are getting more profit from the market price in comparison to the MSP or FCI. That time they will sell in the market price only. Okay, so they will compare wherever they are getting more profit, they will sell out there. Okay, but in this today's condition you'll find that market price is more or less equal to MSP or it is less than MSP. That time most of the farmer they will give the crops at MSP or procurement price. Okay, so in this way the government will collect the crops from the farmer. Okay, now for farmer it has become very easy to sell in MSP or FCI. Okay, why? Because the market price is every time getting lower and lower. They are not getting good profit because the production is more. Okay, since the government is providing them with high variety of seed, the government is providing them the fertilizer at subsidized rate, the government is also giving them the facility of irrigation. Okay, so all these facilities when the farmer get, the production will be more. Okay, so due to that production the market price will be less because the production is enough for the market. Okay, that time the market price will be less and MSP will be high, so obviously the farmer will sell to the government only. Okay, now since the farmer are getting more profit from the government, okay, so they are selling to government only, and in this race, okay, it has become a race to produce more and more crop, because if they produce more they will sell more. Okay, and on top of that the government is also increasing the value of MSP and FCI, so they are getting more profit. So in that process there is a race between the farmer who will grow more. Okay, so the production is getting higher and higher. If you look at the rate of production between 2000 and 2015, you'll see there is a increase in the rate of production. Okay, but in between you'll find that there was a degradation of land. Okay, why? Because the people are using more and more chemical fertilizer, and the waterlogging situation has been created due to over irrigation. Okay, so this situation has degraded the land. Okay, agricultural land is getting degraded because of these reasons. In the race of getting more production from the field, the farmer are using more fertilizers. The situation is created like the fertilizers are less in the market because they are using more and more. The irrigation are being done in such a way that there is a waterlogging in the field. So this has decreased the micronutrients of the soil. Okay, and that is why there is a degradation of the fertility in the soil. Now due to high MSP which the farmer get, they are growing more wheat and rice. Okay, that means paddy and wheat are grown more for high MSP, and they are also getting the facility of getting fertilizer at a subsidized rate, irrigation facility. So all these things have changed the cropping pattern. Okay, instead of growing other crops in rotation, they are focusing on the mainly two crops, that is rice and paddy. Okay, so because of this there is a deficit in the growth of other crops. This has also created a serious imbalance in the intercropping priorities. Okay, okay students, now we all know that how the government collects the grains from the farmer. Okay, and they stock in their buffer stock. Now what does they do with the food grains? They supply these food grains to every states and union territories so that each and every citizen of India should get the minimum nutritional value. They should not die with the starvation of food. Okay, they should get the food and they should have their life to live. Okay, and in future they can do something good for the nation or to develop their nation. They can give them effort. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, another thing is that they supply these food grains to each and every places. Why? Because each and every place do not have the field to grow their crops. Every person do not has got their own field to grow the crops. Okay, there are many poor people living in our country. They should also get the food. Okay, and there are some rich people. They can buy the food grains from the farmer. That is different thing. Okay, but even though some people are living in a state where they do not have field at all, they do not grow the crops at all. So the people out there also should get the crop. Okay, so the Indian government has categorized the consumer into two types. Okay, whoever need the food grains, those people have been categorized into two types. The government has given this facility to each and every citizen of our country. Okay, some of the consumers are categorized under BPL and some are categorized under APL. BPL stands for below poverty line and AP stands for above poverty line. Okay, now the price issued for the crops for each category are different from each other. Okay, now the consumer, okay, these consumers get the food grains at a less price than the market. The price which they pay for the market grains are higher in comparison to the crops which the grains which are provided by the government. Okay, so you understand that the grains which, if they are getting the grains at a low price, obviously they will pay less instead of paying higher for the same grain. Okay, now another one is the categorization of the people under BPL and APL is not perfectly done. Therefore, number of deserving poor have been excluded from the BPL categories. Now here, if you see the population of our country, you will find that the population of our country is very high. So it is very difficult task to categorize the people into two categories. Okay, while doing this categorization, the government has failed to categorize most of the people in a perfect place. That is, some has to be in APL because they are earning good sum of money, that is above poverty line. Some of the people they are below poverty line, that means they are so poor that they cannot afford some of the things for themselves also. Okay, they are unable to buy the food grains up to a minimum nutrition value also. That is why they are categorized under BPL. Okay, so by doing this categorization, the government has failed to categorize in the perfect categories. Categorization was not perfect. Therefore, some of the deserving poor also they was not kept in the BPL. Okay, they were excluded from the BPL. Okay, and moreover, some of the so-called APL, some of the people from the APL also they have slipped down to BPL. Why? Because they are not getting the crop which they want. Okay, some of the food grains which they were supposed to get, they are not getting. Though they are above poverty line, they want all the facilities which the BPL gets. Okay, that is why if they are not given even a single food grain which they want, then what they happen, they want to slip down to BPL to get that facilities. Okay, so this has created a difficulty. Okay, administratively it is very difficult to accommodate the APL category in the BPL. Suppose there is two houses. Okay, one is for BPL, one is for APL. Okay, and the capacity of each house is to hold 10 people. Okay, now if the APL slip down to BPL, what will happen is that this will be vacant, but here will be plus 10. That means if there are 5 people also shift, it will be 15 out here and it will be 5 here. Okay, so what happens is that it will be very difficult for the government to accommodate inside this house where the people, the capacity is 10 and 15 people are fitted inside. Obviously it will be very difficult to live inside this. Okay, so in this way only you can understand that if the APL starts slipping down to BPL, it will be very difficult for the government to accommodate the people in BPL category. Okay, because they have to give such facilities and there will be imbalance in the food grain supply which they were supplying to each category of the people. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Okay students, now we came to know that there are various problems which are faced by the government when the APL is shifted towards the BPL. Okay, now what does this mean is that most of the people are getting poorer and poorer these days. Okay, due to the lack of employment. Okay, and all these are based on the agriculture. Okay, now let us understand some of the things which is related with it. Okay, how can these problems can be solved? The few steps which can be taken by the government to solve this. Okay, each district and block of our country can be made self-sufficient in food grain production if the government provides them with proper infrastructure. Now, what is proper infrastructure? The proper infrastructure means there should be the facility of irrigation, and the supply of electricity. And the road network should also be very good so that they can transport their crops from the field to the respective factories. Okay. Now, besides this, the government should also have a credit linkage. Good credit linkage is beneficial for the farmers. Okay. Nowadays, the government is providing them with Kisan credit card. With the help of that card, they are getting the inputs at a very subsidized rates. Now, inputs means like fertilizer and high yield variety of seed. Okay, those things they are getting at a subsidized rate. This is a good step taken by the government. Okay, and they should also encourage the use of latest technology. Now, nowadays you know that the government is encouraging the people with the latest technology. The farmers are taught how to use the latest technology in the field so that they can grow good crops. Okay, now let us understand another point. Instead of concentrating only on rice and wheat, the food crops with a better growth potential in that particular area must be encouraged. Okay, so what does this mean is that the rice and wheats are the crops which grows well in plains. Okay, the northern plains is suitable because it is a flat plains. Okay, where every year the good quality of soil are brought down by the rivers and they are depositing these sediments in the plains. Okay, so those areas are renovating again and they get good nutrients from the soil and they develop well. So those kinds of crops must be grown in the plain region only, that is rice and wheat. Okay, if the people tries to grow those kinds of crop in the hilly region, the crop will not get that amount of nutrient which they require. Okay, and they will not develop well. Okay, so this sentence means that the crops should be grown in that area where it is suitable for growth. Okay, therefore beside wheat and rice there are many other crops which can be grown very well in the particular area. Okay, like the place where the black soil is available, the cotton grows well, and some of the places where the soil is less fertile, the pulses can be grown because pulses fix the nitrogen in the soil and makes the fertility of the soil. Okay, that maintains the fertility of the soil. So these things should be kept in mind. Okay, another one is creation of necessary infrastructure like irrigational facility. Okay, availability of electricity, etc., may attract the private investment in the agriculture. Now, agriculture is a process where irrigation is also required and sometimes the power supply is also required. Okay, without the power supply, the motor will not work and the water cannot be supplied or irrigate the field. Okay, so if there is the facility of power supply, irrigation and transportation, then the private firm will also show some interest in agriculture and they invest in agriculture. Okay, now let us understand the next point. The focus on increasing food grain production, which should be on a sustainable basis and also free trade in grains, will create massive employment and reduce the poverty in the rural areas. Okay, the government should focus on increasing of food grains. If they try to increase the food grain production, what will happen is that more number of labor will be required and ultimately what will happen, the massive employment will be generated. Okay, now this will also reduce the poverty in the rural areas. Okay, and they should also give the free trade in the grains. Okay, now the government if they does all these things, then the poverty of our country will be reduced to a certain extent. Okay, now with this I would like to end the session here only, and in the next session we will understand more on this concept. Okay, so with this I would like to take a leave from the session. You all take care, stay safe. Thank you.